Okay, so one update to the mixed sources examples patch that comes with the new version 1.1 release of MIAP. I want to demonstrate, and that is the ability to. I want to provide an example of how you can grab this a map file, the map data, and dynamically change it. There's a scripting language for both creating maps in Max and for modifying and controlling the elements of a map. And that's detailed in the MIAP and MIAP tilde help files. And in this patch, I take this patch that was previously just a mixing structure. If you remember if you watch the other video, we've got 8 sine tones, and I'm using these gain values as essentially levels to controlling an 8 input, 1 output mixer. And these are essentially faders. And what I'm going to demonstrate here is loading in, since these map files are JSON files. Let me open up the map for this example. It looks like this. It's a JSON structure that has, for every node, it says what channel, what type of node is it? Is it a virtual node or a speaker node, and so on? What's the position of it? What's the trim? And is it linked to anything, and so on. And so all I care about in this example is I'm looking at the position and I'm looking at the channel. And then I'm evaluating, is this a type of node that has a channel and output? In other words, is it a speaker node or a derived node? All other node types don't actually send gain values out. And then I look up the position and I create a little random drunk walk and scale it, and now I've got a moving manifold interface, one that kind of dynamically morphs around without me having to move. I get some dynamic movement, and you can see how it's changing the gain values on the fly. So you can create a kind of you can create a moving topology that has some type of randomness, or you can script it. And this is just one example. You can imagine in this case, again, I'm using this to control sine waves, mix sine waves together, but this could be controlling VST parameters or whatever. In addition to this movement, and if you want to see how all of this is done under the hood, look in this change the map subpatch. I'm using my own JavaScript JSON parser that I created in Max 5 before the dict objects were around. But you can swap this out with the dict family of objects, which read JSON in, since it's a JSON file, and parse everything and then use it as you want. So if you want to see how I'm doing it, look in there. But what's being done is I'm basically scaling all the nodes and doing a drunk random walk. And then I have another feature that will change the channel numbers that each node represents. So if I click this on, now every 391 milliseconds, let's set this to half a second, every 500 milliseconds, each of these nodes here is changing which output channel it's defined, it's linked to. So that's just another way that the topology can change. The shape in this case isn't changing, but what is represented is changing. So these would be going to, if this was a panner, these would be going to different speakers dynamically. And then you can make it move at the same time. So let's actually hear it. So there's an example of that, real simple example, but it does demonstrate how you kind of distort distort a map using the scripting language.